the Great American Beater Bash, where memories are made and mistakes may happen.
Everybody needs to know May 2nd. That's Derby Day. Derby Day. Think Derby Day. Derby Day.
Let's
Derby.
go!
Influencer class, that's my shtick at this demolition derby that I'm doing. I'm bringing in some people in the entertainment space, if you will, to come and drive their first demolition derby. You can literally go out and buy a $500 shunt box. It may have fourth gear out, whatever. You're not going to need it. And then you do a very basic preparation and bring it, and you pay $40 for a chance at $1,000.
Mortal Theory.
We've got concessions, and then the Wicked Wieners truck's going to be there slinging hot dogs, slinging some glizzies. Freeman Brothers is sponsoring a car. I've got Boom Bad Fireworks sponsoring a car. Charlie Mike's at Dispensary is sponsoring a car. Mortal Theory themselves is sponsoring a car. There's going to be a Mortal Theory car. The list goes on. If anybody wants to sponsor one of these cars, this is the deal. I am sourcing the cars, preparing the cars, and then having them painted. And then the influencer, which we can match influencers to sponsors. It's there's no real feasible reason not to come. Unless
That's what she said.
yeah, to come. But
Come join the event and invite all your friends.
come see me at the Great American Beater Bash, Litchfield, Kentucky, May 2nd, Grayson County Fairgrounds, where legends are made.
To help our county, to help our district, most definitely our district, but it's our county too, to help it move it in the right in a better direction, and be able to leave it better than I found it. Be there when you call, be a face, be a voice for the 4th district, and I promise you, I'll give you 110%. Number 1 on the ballot. Hopefully, I'm number 1 in your heart come May 19th. Appreciate your vote.
Eugene Smith.
Putting the 4th district first. Leadership you can trust and results you can see.
Paid for by the candidate.
Located at 511 South Main Street, Corbin, Kentucky, Sugar Booger's Custom Cakes has been bringing delicious treats to the Tri-County area for over a decade. Whether it be a cupcake, cookie, cake pop, brownie, or a signature one-of-a-kind custom cake that will be the star of any event, Sugar Boogers has you covered. Easy online ordering with polite, knowledgeable staff guaranteed to make each experience easy and stress-free. Go check them out on Facebook or give them a call for a free estimate. Sugar Boogers Custom Cakes for all occasions, 606-344-6595.
Are you a jerky jerk?
You're holding it, right?
Yeah, I got it. Just give me 1 second.
RJ's Beef Jerky. Real jerky for real jerky jerks.
Can you give me a piece? Yeah, of course.
Looking for the perfect place to host your next big celebration? Right in the heart of downtown Corbin, Kentucky, there's a beautiful venue that's quickly becoming everyone's favorite place to gather. Harvey's on Main. From weddings and receptions to birthday parties, baby showers, reunions, corporate events, and community celebrations, Harvey's on Main can host just about any event you can imagine. Planning a wedding? Brides will love the private bridal room, giving you the perfect space to relax, get ready, and enjoy those unforgettable moments before walking down the aisle. Need space for food, drinks, or catering? Harvey's also features a kitchen and bar area available for use, making it easy to create the perfect setup for your guests. And what truly makes this place special is the people. The owner is often right there with you, helping set everything up, making sure your event runs smoothly, and even staying afterward to help clean up. That's the kind of humble, down-to-earth hospitality you just don't see everywhere. So when you're ready to celebrate life's biggest moments in a beautiful downtown setting, choose the place where memories are made. Harvey's on Main, in the heart of downtown Corbin, where your next great event begins.
Cupid is gonna tell you why. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Footsteps in the woods, lights in the sky. Some call it crazy, we just ask why. Laugh if you wanna, but you just might see there's more to the world than they want it to be. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Truth or a tale, come and see. We're gonna have some fun, y'all.
In a world where feelings are protected and men have traded big, beautiful beards for man purses and man buns, comes to you a podcast you always wanted and never knew you needed. A podcast where feelings are left at the door and conversations happen unfiltered and no sugarcoating.
Yeah, it's better.
All right, guys. So again, these suckers conned me in to do this opening, knowing good and damn well my mic wouldn't work, and I've already been spitting like 2 or 3 minutes, thanking you guys for joining us on our 1-year anniversary show. And I don't know if you heard the giggles, but they are 100% giggling in the background. Let me go ahead and give our disclaimer, guys. We have Mayor Randall Weddle with us tonight. I'm very excited that he's with us. There are things that you can ask anything. However, there are only certain things he's able to talk about due to pending litigations and this and that. And if there's a question you have that he can't answer, he'll let you know he can't answer it. He is able to see your questions. And we're just going to have a good time having conversation, try to get to some of your questions tonight, and really get a feel of Mayor Randall Weddle. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Randall Weddle.
And Jericho Mason. So I'm surprised there really ain't been any questions come in yet. But like Paul said, let's just start off. Let's just get to know you first.
Okay.
So where you want to start in the timeline of that?
Where do you guys want to start at? It's up to you.
Let's start at the beginning. Let's start in Gray, Kentucky. That's where we heard the story kind of starts.
Yeah, so that's pretty much where we were. My dad's family up in Rosslyn area there in Grays. You know, that's Lane Camp Holler. That's where ran up in that hollow, and many of other ones around in there, the biggest part of my life. My mom, however, lived on the Knox-Laurel line there. My grandfather had a farm over there, so I was in between the two places growing up. But, yeah, most of all my cousins were all right there in Lincoln Hollow, and so that's where it really began for me. We moved around quite a bit. We lived in Barville for a little while. We lived in Georgia, and then obviously Dad settled here in Corbin, and that's where we were able to finish out high school and stuff here. Went to middle school and then high school here. So
Now, I've heard you come from humble beginnings, but I've not heard it from you.
yeah, so I mean, we were not rich by any means. Dad was a really good man. Anybody that knew our father knew he had a heart of gold. He'd give you the shirt off his back. And that's kind of just how we were raised. I mean, that's just how our whole family is, my aunts, uncles. I think that's how my grandparents raised them to be. But, we wasn't rich. None of them was rich with money, and we definitely know we lived in old coal mine camp houses that was still up in Lincoln Hollow. That's where we were pretty much raised. Outdoor plumbing. We didn't even have I don't remember air conditioning really until we moved down here on 3rd Street in Corbin, and it was like central heat and air, so we thought we were on top of the world then, son, Right. But, they had a roofing company that they Gray's Roofing, did a lot of roofing here, a lot of people in Corbin, and just this regional area right here that my papa and some of my uncles brought from Baltimore, and then they renamed it. It went from Weddle's Brothers to Gray's Roofing. And so I was raised around roofing the biggest part of my younger life because that's primarily what our family done. But, I mean, nobody had no lot of money, that's for sure.
So what was your first job? Outside of maybe working with your family or whatever.
Yeah, McDonald's.
Yeah?
Yeah, I started line cook at McDonald's here in Corbin.
That was my first job, too. So, guys, if you're young, working at McDonald's.
Pays off.
You could be a mayor one day.
You definitely could be. Hey, and today it's not really that bad. I've seen signs at the McDonald's in London like $15, $16 an hour.
I think even this one down here starts off $15 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I would have been on cloud 9, as a young man getting $15 an hour.
I went from the $5.15 to $7.25. Like, that happened during the time that I worked at McDonald's. That the government changed what the minimum wage was. It was $5.15 when I started. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So from that, where did you go?
So throughout the middle school and high school, obviously met my wife Victoria. We've been together since we were teenagers, and we had our daughter Alexis. Obviously, Victoria was 17, I was 19, and then we had our son Nicholas within 10 months later. So they're very close. Our older kids are, and then we wound up moving off to Indianapolis, and I became a FedEx guy up there, and that's who I continued to work with and work for some time, getting my CDLs and then driving a truck. So
that's what you said earlier. You said, I was here and then I moved away.
Yeah.
And you done very well for yourself when you moved away. Is that right?
Well, I mean, we were like anybody else. It wasn't in the beginning. So, I had a job and had to work my way up, and then, after you have a decent job making decent money, you're able to save some money, and then we wind up buying some real estate, rental houses and stuff like that while we was up in Indianapolis, and I kind of cut my teeth on some of that stuff. And then but yeah, it was a struggle. When me and Victoria moved away from here, being so young, and then we have kids, it's not like I don't know how you guys grew up, but it's not like we could really call up our parents and say, which Victoria's mom, God, she was a godsend. She didn't have a ton of money either, but she was godsend to our life because, man, there's so many times we just, the struggle bus, you know what I mean?
No. I had one of them $20 moms.
Yeah.
Like, she was good for $20 all the time.
Yeah.
But there was never a $5,000 phone call.
No, and we didn't have that either, but Tracy was like that, Tracy was, she another great person is she give you what she had, but if you need $20 or $30 or whatever, she was definitely there. And so, but my parents, they had a little rougher, so it was hard to call them up and say, hey, I need some money. We just didn't have that, so it was feast or famine. Either you got out and you hustled and worked, because there was nobody coming to save you.
Right.
And I think we know, everybody in this room probably can relate to that. We have to make this happen ourselves, and that was it for me. I didn't have anybody to say, "Hey, here's you $100,000 or $1 million. Start your life off." And
nobody in this room had that either.
No.
Right.
I didn't even have somebody to
You didn't have the $20 person.
Yeah, I didn't even have a $20 person.
Yeah.
So my first job, I'll say legit first job, was working for Interstate Auction down here.
Yeah.
With Melvin Hill.
Yeah.
I was doing that. And then I got a job working at KFC here in Corbin while working at Interstate Auction. And then I figured out how to become a bus monitor, so I get paid to go to school too. So I was working 3 jobs at once, and I was loving it.
And that was fresh out of the military or before you went to the military?
That was way before the military. So most of my high school career, I was working 3 jobs. And I loved it. I was like, I've never seen this much money,
Yeah, I've got a lot of cousins that's worked at KFC here. Greg, one of my cousins, he was manager there.
Greg is a great guy.
Yeah, now he's with the Postal Service, and my older sister's at the Postal Service too.
He's funny. Greg and Crystal.
Yeah,
they're good people.
Yeah, so I mean, but you guys know then it's like you get out here and you hustle it and you make it happen. I've heard all kinds of different rumors. I know how a guy texted me the other day and said he had somebody say to him, they won the lottery. Well, keep speaking that. I want you to speak that into my life.
That way you can start buying tickets.
Yeah, I'm going to start buying tickets, and then which is every once in a while I'll buy some, especially if it gets up into the billions.
That's when I buy tickets. Always when it's right before $1 billion. Yeah. I'm like, man, this is like Jericho even did a chat GBT to try to get the lottery codes, and he's like, Paul, don't tell anybody. This is my secret. If I win, we're doing good.
Me and you in the same numbers because I did the same thing, man.
Well, I went deep into it though. Like I made it build up this certain algorithm, and it shot me 3 good predictable numbers. Well, different sets of numbers. And I played all of them. I was like, I'm going to win one way or another. I think I won $12.
I told Victoria, I said, I'm wondering if I win off these numbers, if I've got to share it with the company that really gave me the numbers.
Right. I wonder about that. Maybe so.
Yeah.
So you came back to London.
So I lost my father in 2013. He had passed away, and we were still in Indiana at that time. But then we decided it was time to come back to Kentucky. I'd been gone for so long, and we came back to Lexington area there and moved there. And in 2014, we lost our son Christian.
Sorry to hear that.
And so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a couple very rough years right there. And then I just wanted to be closer to home here. I wanted to be around my family. I wanted my youngest son Lucas to know what it was like to be a holler rat or raised up on a farm, or
Now that's the junior mayor. Is that correct?
That's the junior mayor. And he's pure country. He's pure country. But I wanted him to know what it was like to raise a garden, to fish, to hunt, and so that's some of the reasons we came back, and getting away from the bigger cities, and so Lucas could have that experience, and again, so I could be around my family. And when we left here, again, this is home to us, Corbin, London, just this area, Barville.
Tri-County.
The Tri-County area, we love it here, and we love the people. I missed it every day that we were gone, because I truly believe this. You will not find any better people than right here in Kentucky, and especially southeast Kentucky. And that's why, we came back, and that's why I continue to stay.
Right. So you come back, and you're like, I can make a difference. I'm going to run for mayor. Is that how did that even come about?
Well, the political side of this came when I brought a portion of a company that I was in at the time down here, just so we could help create better jobs and careers here, and in doing that, there's usually locally, when you're dealing with business as a businessman and you're dealing with governments, the politicians can be very involved with that. And, when we first bought our company here, there was just zero involvement. Nobody really cared that we were even coming. So I just thought it was very strange. And then, as we stayed, and then you just begin to see some of the injustices that has been happening in Southeast Kentucky, that's when it really dawned on me that, I could really make that difference, and having somebody that's business mind, which I'm going to tell you something. Troy Rudder, which was the mayor up in London prior to me, he laid a great foundation. A lot of the parks are because of Troy and the team that he put in around him, and our tourism. We have a fabulous Chris Robinson. He's dedicated to that. I don't think you'll find a better dedicated man than some of the stuff that he does there in London, and that whole team around him. But I seen that there was, everybody has their niche, or we're all good at something, right? I'm going to level out eventually as well, and that was kind of where I was at. It wasn't that Troy did anything wrong. It was that I also seen that change needed to be made, and that a businessman needed to come into play. And mind everybody, I'm Randall Weddle. I left here just really a holler at nobody. Nobody knew who I was. And then coming back down here, I still don't know, other than the people that, I may have graduated high school with, but my family wasn't like we had this big name around here. So, people were telling me, you're not going to win this, because I was running against a guy that had been in politics for 16 years and then raised right downtown London his entire life. And they said, you're just not going to beat him. And when I first tossed the idea out, and I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. But then it was just continue to say that, whatever Corbin does great, we all reap from, right? In this region. Whatever London's going to do to great, we're going to reap from in this region. And that's where it started settling to me that somebody needed to have that drive.
My opinion's a little different on that. Whatever Corbin does great, we reap from taxes. That's how I feel about it, though.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure that's one side of view of it, but when Corbin, the progression in Corbin makes everybody successful in a way. As the cities grow.
There's some things I can't buy in Corbin, and I'm thankful that London has those things, or Williamsburg has those things.
Yeah,
that I haven't got to drive 80 miles to Lexington or Knoxville to get those things.
Right.
And I'm very happy to see the growth in all the cities around me, because, again, it just saves me the time of having to go outside to get something.
I've always thought of it as more of, instead of a tri-county, it's more of a tri-city,
Yeah, like London.
Like we're sister cities.
Hey, I can't say her name, Theresa. I know she's asking a lot of questions. I just want you to know we're not ignoring you. I see your questions coming in, but we've not made it to the Q&A quite yet. We're just building up, getting to know everybody first. But the Q&A is coming, so don't think that we're ignoring you. They're coming. Anyway.
Yeah, so, and that's where my mind was at, is that, this area, while we're doing great in a lot of areas, London needs good paying careers, and it needs, the more we can bring into London, and, the better off we are as not just the city, but as a county and as a region. And, that's where I decided to make that commitment. And listen, everybody was telling me I wasn't going to win. I mean, they just was. You're not going to win this. You don't have a shot in Hades to win this. But I just said, if the people want change, then they'll vote me in. And if they don't, then I won't win. So
right. And you did. I mean, you did win. I mean, everybody knows that now.
Yeah.
And it seems like since you've took the mayor of London, I've seen now. Obviously, the comments are rolling through, but just outsider looking in, and I didn't really pay much attention to London until all this stuff went crazy. I was just enjoying that there was that that you guys were offering like sponsorships to bring businesses downtown? Because me and my wife were talking about it. Was that something that you were a part of?
No, that was in, I think, 2022, just before I had come in. They had done some projects like that. So yeah, but no, I wasn't in for that part.
Well, and then just recently, maybe last year, there was and people have corrected me on this or tried to correct me on this, but I know I heard this. I was DJing a wedding with a teacher, and she was the lady that was responsible for telling everybody what to do, the coordinator, the planner. Her name was Macy, and she said, she's like, listen, I've got to leave because they're giving away. They've picked 5 teachers to give bonuses to.
Yeah, so that was something that me and Victoria had done.
That's something that you did,
right? Correct.
Now, so all the people that said that I was wrong when I said that, that was a fact.
That was when Amendment 2 had come out, and there's such a low morale on our teachers because of social media can be brutal, right? And
it is.
Yeah. And so me and Victoria wanted to do something to kind of help the teachers, and really Victoria led the forefront on that. And little Lucas, he's an amazing kid, has a big heart, which I'm thankful that all of our children do. But that was a very great event, and I think that it did show the teachers and our public school systems that while they may not be perfect, as a boy that received that public education, I couldn't imagine if I didn't have it. And I'm thankful, I'm going to be quite honest with you, that for that breakfast pizza. And
dude, the best.
Yeah.
Right?
And then having that lunch, because, when you're living struggle, you're thankful as a kid to have that food.
I used to wear a jacket that had multiple pockets, just so I could shove as many cheeseburgers in my pockets as I could.
Yeah,
that was my meal for the day.
Ain't it amazing though where God brings us from though?
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, you went from that to now. If you want something to eat or drink, you can do it, and it's just amazing how far He brings us in life. But
I get tickled at it now, but it got so bad. All kinds of other students at school would purposely get an extra cheeseburger and bring it to me. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Well, because Jericho had a pretty tough upbringing. He shared that his parents would lock him out, and they'd have to fend for their own. They had to sneak in the house to get food, and he had 4 other brothers and sisters.
2 brothers and a sister, and me.
Yeah. Well, I was a boy and 7 girls, so I'm the only boy. And then, Mom had twins and lost them, but there was 8 of us. So.
Yeah, we totally get the breakfast pizza.
Oh, yeah, that was the bomb.
It is.
Breakfast pizza was amazing.
When Lucas started going to school, I said, "Man, you've got to get the breakfast pizzas. If they still got those, even buy an extra one."
Right. So we got about through the first half hour. I think that we've got a decent picture of
who you are,
of who the mayor, where the mayor came from, where he's at. What are some obstacles that you've had since being mayor? I mean, everybody's seen a lot.
Yeah, I want to go back to this. When I was running for office, one of the things that I said is that we wanted to bring change. Change sometimes don't come without consequence, or it don't come without kickback, or it doesn't. When you have people that's been in office for 16 and 20 years. I remember this, and this is kind of skipping a little forward, but it goes to say, and it kind of puts a picture of what I'm trying to say. During my impeachment, Kelly had said, which her dad was the mayor of London, which I will not speak ill of at all. I respect that office and what he had done in that office. But, she was a council lady, and she said, you came in like a bull in a china shop, and we don't do that here in London. And what she meant was by saying that is we were going to give a voice to everybody in London. I didn't care if you grew up on Main Street or if you who your family is. I didn't care who you were.
No matter what side of town you grew up on.
No matter. And I didn't care if you was a single mother living in the housing project. You meant something to me. And that wasn't always the case. And it's not always the case in any of these governments because generally, and I think anybody and everybody in this room would have to agree that the old saying is it's who you know, and that's not been the case with us, but again, you go back to what we're fighting is all the disinformation that's always been out on social media about me back when I was campaigning. There's been all kinds of rumors, and
for instance, what's one rumor that you hear about you that you're like, man, that's so wild?
That I'm in the cartel.
That you're in the cartel.
Yeah,
I have heard that. I've heard people say that.
Yeah, I'm not Spanish at all, but
you're a little dark complected.
I am. Yeah,
maybe that's where they're getting that from.
Maybe.
You know to drink tequila or?
No, I don't. I actually, you would probably not want to see me on tequila. So, but it's amazing what somebody called me up the other day and they said, "Hey, somebody had told them, I know for a fact that he just got a car repoed." And I said, "Really?" And then I went through that scenario with them. Or then somebody else called me yesterday and was like, "I know this person said they know for a fact because your sister told them that you won the lottery." And it's just that's stuff that we've always dealt with. But I said this to you guys off the cameras, and I'll say it now. We are not stupid here. Southeast Kentucky folks are not stupid, right? How is a guy corrupt? First of all, that's not in the clique. The clique has been kicking against him since day one and has had a microscope since day one in the office. Who am I corrupt with? And exactly what is our initiative in this corruption? We've stopped a lot, and we're hurting that good old boy system, and that's what we have been fighting since day one. And you don't have to believe it, just use common sense. What exactly is the initiative of this corruption if I'm corrupt? What am I trying to get out of? I said this to people all the time. Being mayor, the worst thing that I'm going to be able to do to you is your street is not getting paved, or I'm not going to fix your sidewalk, or maybe your trash doesn't get picked up. But you have these parts of Facebook that has this conspiracy, and people run with it, and they build this narrative, and it's mind-blowing to me that people go down that avenue, because I don't take the pay in the mayor's office. We donate that back to the people. Every dime.
You don't take any pay?
No.
Okay.
Every ink pen in my office, and the staff up there will testify this, my printer, my computer, everything I bought myself. I use my own paper, my own ink pens. I don't even use taxpayer money in my vehicle. I pay for that gas. I honestly wanted to say when I got out of politics here in London that I didn't take one thing from the taxpayers, not $1. The only thing the insurance company said that the insurance had to be on my city unit, because I had bought the vehicle I drove, or that I drive. I bought it with my own money. I didn't want to even put wear and tear on the people's stuff. So, but I had to get the city insurance. It was just part of the deal. So, but I'm not in the state retirement system. I'm not paying into that. I didn't even opt for that. So, our whole goal of corruption, that's one thing that I just would like to know. What is the corruption?
And so maybe we explain the difference between your powers and the city powers, right? The council. Because I think that's where...
I think people would like to know that. Why is it that a mayor can't do what a mayor wants to do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so the legislative body in a city creates the laws, and they create the whole narrative how the city is to operate. My job is to execute what is in our city ordinances, and then hire the people to help execute whatever that ordinance, or what you say, ordinance or law, to help carry that out. And then just the daily operations of the city. So while council don't have oversight and the branches are equal, just like in our state government, they are, and it's a good setup, really, if you think about it. If you've got a good council, you've got 6 people from the same community that are writing ordinances or laws that says this is how our community should move forward. This is where industrial park should be. This is what our tax base should be, or whatever the case may be. But it's my job to execute that and make sure that the public is following them, and or executing our comprehensive plan, whatever may be in that development ordinance, from like even to code enforcement. So a lot of people think, well, the mayor's office did this. Well, here's the thing. If it's in the ordinance that you have to do this, or you should do this, and this goes from anywhere in the state, a mayor's job is their administration has to carry that out, because if not, you can get impeached. So you're neglecting your duties to execute the laws in that city.
So the mayor doesn't write the laws.
No.
You're the executive branch of that part of the government.
That's right. I'm the branch that executes and carries out the legislative branch's laws and ordinances.
Obviously, I don't live in London, so this is just the outside looking in. But everything I've ever seen of your London City Council is all about them. Why is that? Why do they make a point to make it look like they only care about themselves and not the people?
You know, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this would happen.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I was just saying.
I think that you could definitely get into this situation where in any city, if I have 4 appointed council members, I have 2 that's elected. So you're not hearing the voices of the people in that type of government, right?
No.
You're hearing the voices of the people of the 2 that was actually elected. And that's why it's important that elections put us into places, because then we can honestly say we're the voice of the people. And I think that's something that really gets lost in all of this, is that right now all that's resonating is the resonation of that group, or that side, or, and I hate to say it like that, but that side that has never wanted me in office, even before I was mayor, and now, you know, they've got the control of the legislative body. So
I think that's the question he was asking, though, is what set the city council against you, right?
Well, and the city,
and well,
yeah,
he can't speak on why they're this, but he knows the allegations.
Well, he's seen more than we have. I can tell you that.
Yeah, you know, it boils down to me, right? It goes back to you. If you are in control of something, let's say the 2 of you guys here, and you didn't all of a sudden started not liking him. Yeah,
he's using all 3, but
yeah, these 2 went against you though,
right?
And let's say that the law said that you needed 6. These 2 needed 6 people to get rid of you. They could outvote you and start bringing more people into this company,
right?
And eventually get to their 6th person to where they can get rid of you. And that was the whole plan, to get to their 6th. Because, see, to impeach a mayor, you need the entire council.
So you just said what I said in better terms.
Right.
Exactly.
They're about themselves.
Yeah.
They was trying to benefit them more than the people.
Well, that's Jericho's opinion.
That's my opinion. But in my opinion, they had an agenda, and the agenda wasn't for the people. It was for themselves to get you out.
I think that's very, very good opinion. I think that the majority of people that live in London would agree with you. And I think that if you look at everything, here's the sad part, and the reality of it is, and I've said this multiple times in council meetings, that let's put aside our difference. After they impeached me, I said, let's put everything aside.
I heard that.
Our differences, and let's just get to work for the people. this council has been in now for 15 months or whatever, and if you go back through the ordinances, they've not done anything to benefit the people. We've not done any constructive business of the city. They've not tried to bring any initiative to bring jobs into London. They've not done, so I would just like to see that happening.
There's a fair amount of their time used on you.
I would say more than fair amount of time.
So let me ask you this. Throughout the impeachment, you were temporarily impeached, but then reinstated. So my question is, why were you reinstated?
So, you cannot illegally impeach somebody. You can. The laws are funny. And let me say this, even with our legislators, a lot of our laws are very old, right? And I don't think they ever planned for today of a day like London would ever come up, and that people would not do ethical things. And I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on this. You don't ever want government being able to have the full ability to remove people without good cause and justification, the very person, man or woman that you elected.
Right.
And so that debate was going to be in the courts because we knew it was an illegal impeachment. But the judge, when we took it to court, when I appealed it to the circuit court, the judge had told counsel and their attorney not to be doing anything. Move gingerly is his exact words. Well, then they started appointing to all these boards. Well, the judge found out about it, Judge Williams did, and he called a court hearing, and he told their attorney, I told you not to be doing this kind of stuff, appointing people to boards, because they were moving quickly like that,
Yeah, no, I've seen that. I noticed that.
And the judge then reappointed me immediately because they disobeyed his order, the court's order, to move gingerly, don't be doing things while the courts were working this impeachment out.
Well, see, because the speed of which they were able to get things done should be the speed of which you should be able to get things done if everybody worked together. Like all of a sudden there was an ethics board,
right,
or starting an ethics board. There was all these things going on, and it happened so fast. And we've been waiting years for it to happen since you've been mayor, but it happened like in a blink of an eye. It's like, all right, London's moving. Problem was it wasn't that they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do it with you, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Now, is that impeachment final? Is it done over, or
no? It's still in the appellate court, the appeals court. They still have it's still resting there. They took a portion of it. There was two parts to it: the injunctive relief to remove me immediately. The appeals court denied that. Then they appealed that portion to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court sent it back to the appeals court. They were like, we're not touching that or not dealing with it or whatever, and so that's gone now, but we still have the debate whether or not it was illegal impeachment or not. And it goes back to this, and this is very important. If you look in that impeachment, they changed my charges 3 times. Now imagine you dealing with criminal. Would you want a prosecutor to come in there 3 different times changing your charges, trying to find something that they can stick? And that's what I'm saying. It's not even really about me. The greater message of even that, why I fought that so hard, is remember, whatever happens in cities and in government and in courts sets a precedent that will forever be brought back up in the future. Well, city council versus Mayor Randall Weddle, this is what was allowed. And it's important that we don't set a precedent that this is okay, that we should be operating in this manner, that we change charges 3 times on a person to just get our motive and our narrative out there.
Yeah, I like that. That's
well. See, that's outsider looking in. The elections in May.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you technically impeached?
I think maybe about 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, so there's 3 or 4 weeks. If they wanted to sit down at the table, they could get all that work done. There's time to get that work done before the election's over. Why are we talking about what we're going to do later instead of what we can do right now? You know, that's why does change always have to wait? That's probably my question. Why does change always have to wait?
You know, just the cold hard reality is there is a lot of people in politics, and I'm going to tell you something. We have some great people in politics in Southeast Kentucky, and but we have some that they don't like change, they don't want change, and they're not thinking about your kid's future, my kid's future, or even my grandchildren at this point. They say that, and then they get in office, and then nothing happens. But you know the amazing thing is we keep electing those people that has 15, 16 years. What have they done for you and your family? And that's something we really need to start thinking. And I don't care where we live. 15 or 16 years, if you cannot make some great strides and really making change for the people, we need to be getting rid of them.
Well, I've heard everybody say, you know, we got to move out of this area to make anything or do anything. Or,
we shouldn't have to.
Yeah, and we shouldn't. The problem is it's just name recognition when they go to the voting booth, and they either hear bad stuff because Papaw said vote this way, and they don't do anything on their self. And then we got to move to Lexington or anything. Because as a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
I've been told to take my businesses north to Lexington. And I'm like, why? Why should I? I want to build Corbin. I want to build London. I want to be here. This is where I want my family. Why should I have to move?
Yeah. And, you know, but it becomes down to the economics of a business thriving here is that, again, you go back to these long-time people in office that doesn't want change, and that's not every one of them. Listen, we have people in office that I know for a fact that they're making great strides in trying to change Knox County, or they're trying to change Whitley County or Laurel County or whatever. But then you've got, or even Clay County. Shout out to all my Clay County folk. I love a lot of them dudes and girls over there. But they, you know, there is just the fact that you have a good size portion in each government that says we don't want any change. We don't want it growing like that. And unfortunately, sometimes that group can be louder than the guy or the woman that's trying to fight for change.
Well, they really can.
But and there's something I want to say in this. You know, we keep saying, and we've all heard this, and we've said this in probably our adult lives, is, man, we wish the good guy or good girl would run for that office, and we'd do this, we'd do that. You know, you want these good people in office. I don't know, do you? They're going to extort you, shoot at you, sue you, impeach you, and then make up all kinds of other things on you. Is good people going to really run for office when everybody that's good that knows me has seen what I've went through?
I don't know why anybody want to be mayor of London.
Because outside of this,
you don't take pay. Yeah. If somebody was able to talk me into being mayor of London, they'd have to pay me 3 times what they're offering to pay you.
Because the sad reality of it is that little noise is covered up, is trying to cover up London, because London is a great city, and it has so much great potential, and there's so many great things happening there that would drive a lot of people want to move London forward. But seeing this, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do for the future. Hopefully London during this election will they'll stop listening to the rhetoric of one side, and then they'll vote people in that want to see London move forward, because we do have people that want to move London forward. Do you know how many people that we have that's legitly on boards and commissions that don't get paid a dime? And our tourism commission is a great one, for example. We have them guys don't get paid nothing, and they serve the community, and they so dedicated to that. But it's all of our boards, whether it's zoning and planning or whatever. Everybody's donating their time, and they may get a little pay on some of these boards to show up to a meeting. But you have this really good group of people that love London, and they are moving it forward, and that's being overshadowed by all this negative stuff. And that's the sad part, because just what you said, if you really knew London and knew the people in London in Laurel County, and I'm sure you know people there, that's why. That's why, because the majority, they're not for this, and they're not for what's happening.
What can the city do to change the way that it handles the council? Like, I don't know anybody that would be okay with people just appointing people to a council. I feel like every position should be an elected position on a council. That people shouldn't just get to appoint their friends, that the people of London should get to choose who's on there. That way you can have that diversity of folks, and you have people that aren't so like-minded trying to work together for the greater cause of, for good. You know, what can London do? Anything to change the way the council is put together?
No, that comes, well, obviously every election, the election is where it's going to be important, but it's the lawmakers out of Frankfurt has to change the laws on whether or not a person can be appointed, or there has to be a special election drawn or whatever.
I think there should always be a special election.
And I agree with you.
I don't think you should be allowed to appoint anybody.
Yeah, I agree with you, because appointing causes
conflict
and personal agendas.
Yes.
And London has been the example of that.
And like you said, London's a great place. I love taking my family up there. We do the air raid. We miss Dino's being down here. I mean, I take my family up there all the time. And, London's not making the news for all the great stuff and all the great stuff it should be making the news for right now. And it just seems like a lot of agendas. It's a lot of time not spent working together. And it's disheartening to watch.
And it is, but then, it is, but I don't stay focused on that stuff in my office every day. We have so many great city employees that are doing their jobs, and we have a lot of great things coming to London. London is shaking, and we have a lot of great boards in London. Economic Development Board, to our Business Development Board, they do a wonderful job. We have so many people that care about London, Laurel County. London is growing, and it is, but it would benefit and be better if we didn't have all this drama. There's no doubt about that.
Can you speak to the issue with the city employees? Like, I worked at the hospital and I'm friends with a lot of folks that are with the fire department, with the EMS and everything else. And most of them was 100% Mayor Weddle.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was talk that a lot of them would get let go. Is that right? I'm not crazy familiar with it, and I apologize not being super familiar with it, but is it something that you could speak to kind of?
I honestly don't think, and it goes back to that rumor mill. You're going to have people that's saying, oh, well, it's out there. If you like me, they're going to say that you like me because I'm paying you. But I don't think that you could go in the city and find one city employee that don't like me.
I've not heard one bad thing about you from a city employee.
Because we don't lead heavy-handed. Everything we do as a team. And so, but yeah, there's a lot of jobs that was on the line. Because if I don't,
was right before Christmas too, right?
Correct. And it was the budget cuts that was going to cause that. But, that did get fixed, thankfully. There is some people that, had to lose their jobs, but it wasn't as significant as it originally was. And I think, to be honest with you, when they brought out that budget and they passed it, it was more out of ignorance because them guys on council just didn't know nothing about a budget than it was being facetious, to be honest with you.
So you don't think it was ill will toward you? They just really didn't know what they were doing?
No, I think that there was towards me a certain amount, but I think once we got into the nuts and bolts of it in our talks, I realized they just didn't know what it took to operate the city. And for instance, when we were saying we're going to have to we're not going to be able to run our police cars or fire cars where we run out of fuel money. They just didn't know that by putting that in their manner of trying to hurt me in some way, they just didn't understand what it really took to operate the vehicles and or understand what it was needed for salary. So there was some ignorance that played in it. It wasn't all driven by just hate.
Good. And you guys were able to come to the table
because of a judge.
Because of a judge.
Yeah.
Not everybody was willing to come to the table. It's that kind of force.
No, I want to say this, and they can play it or spin it any way they want to. I'm willing to sit down with them. Listen, even right now, I do not hate council. There's no hate in my heart, and there's never been any hate for these guys. Even after all they've done to me, I don't hate them.
Just a strong dislike.
I'm not going to eat dinner with them, but the people didn't elect me in office to be their best friends. What they elected me in office was to come in there and be a businessman and lead that city regardless. This is where I have a hard time because I'm not there to be friends with people. I'm there to be the mayor and lead it. So if I'm sitting there with one of the council members that maybe personally I don't like, when I put the cap on as mayor, this shouldn't be about that. This should be about the voters and the people of London. And it's in business. You guys are friends. There's a friendship here, but then when it comes time to do business, business is business. Mm. And you may not always agree, and you may get in a little rift, but when you walk out, you're still buddies.
Oh, we don't always agree on anything.
We've had our disagreements, but look where we're at.
Yeah, we're still here.
Right. And that's the same way that I look at it as the mayor. When I go in there, whether or not I like them, I just want to move the city forward.
Right.
That's it.
I'm just here to do podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't really like them.
Well, that may change if they impeach you. Right. No.
Jericho and I have thought about it, but yeah, we got to get 4 more members.
Yeah,
we don't have a quorum.
Yeah, get you. But that's just the reality of it, and I do agree with you that I wish that they would come into a place too that they can say, look, we hate this dude, but we're elected to come in here, or we're appointed to come in here and just move the city forward. And I will say for John Bruner, the newly appointed guy, he has been very balanced. He's not taken that I appear to see any side. John has been very pro about just moving the city forward.
He took Ortega's spot.
Correct. Yeah. And he's been very pro. I'll say this up to this point. John Bruner's been very pro about just tell me about the city portion and how we can move. And that if we have the other ones get on board with that without vendettas, then the city could get some things done. Go back to hate me when we walk out of that room.
Right.
I just want to let everybody know, like that Bonnie White and stuff's cracking me up. Like she's trying to be on it, and people's back and forth with her. But we're about to go on. We are about to go on our little break here. When we get back, I'm pretty sure Randall gets to spin the wheel, don't he?
Yeah, he's got the most votes.
Yeah. So when we get back, you guys
were
get to
really
see.
close though. They still got 1 minute to get.
I know. I seen that. I seen that. But when we get back,
I think you need to be voting Jericho.
Yeah.
This
is the vote Randall don't want
to get a bunch of 2s flashed up or 4 for red.
Luckily, we're going to get to see Randall spin the wheel, and we're going to get back. When we come back, we're going to get into these hard questions that everybody's wanting answers to. I told you a while ago, the Q&A's coming. We're building up to these hard questions. Give us time, people. My Lord.
And again, disclaimer.
We're not here to beat anybody.
We're not here to beat anybody. We're going to ask some of your questions. If he can answer them, he said he would. In fact, that's what he said. He goes, guys, whatever you want to ask. If I can talk about it, I will. He's been an open book to us since he walked in. So I don't expect that to change once 8 o'clock rolls around.
Yep.
Who's number 4?
You are.
You are.
Oh, God. I've seen a lot of those 4s roll through.
Yeah,
So it's 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get our break over with. When we come back, we'll spin the wheel, and we'll get into these hard questions.
Don't go anywhere.
The Great American Beater Bash, where memories are made and mistakes may happen.
Everybody needs to know May 2nd. That's Derby Day. Derby Day. Think Derby Day. Derby Day.
Let's
Derby
go!
Day. influencer class. That's my shtick at this demolition derby that I'm doing. I'm bringing in some people in the entertainment space, if you will, to come and drive their first demolition derby. You can literally go out and buy a $500 shunt box that may have fourth gear out, whatever. You're not going to need it. And then you do a very basic preparation and bring it. And you pay $40 for a chance at $1,000.
Mortal Theory.
We've got concessions, and then the Wicked Wieners truck's going to be there slinging hot dogs, slinging some glizzies. Freeman Brothers is sponsoring a car. I've got Boom Bad Fireworks sponsoring a car. Charlie Mike's at Dispensary is sponsoring a car. Mortal Theory themselves is sponsoring a car. There's going to be a Mortal Theory car. The list goes on. If anybody wants to sponsor one of these cars, this is the deal. I am sourcing the cars, preparing the cars, and then having them painted. And then the influencer, which we can match influencers to sponsors. It's there's no real feasible reason not to come. Unless
That's what she said.
Yeah, come. But
Come join the event and invite all your friends.
come see me at the Great American Beater Bash, Litchfield, Kentucky, May 2nd. Grayson County Fairgrounds, where legends are made.
To help our county, to help our district, most definitely our district, but it's our county too, to help it move it in the right in a better direction, and be able to leave it better than I found it. Be there when you call, be a face, be a voice for the 4th district, and I'll promise you I'll give you 110%. Number 1 on the ballot. Hopefully I'm number 1 in your heart come May 19th. Appreciate your vote.
Eugene Smith.
Putting the 4th district first. Leadership you can trust and results you can see.
Paid for by the candidate.
Located at 511 South Main Street, Corbin, Kentucky, Sugar Booger's Custom Cakes has been bringing delicious treats to the Tri-County area for over a decade. Whether it be a cupcake, cookie, cake pop, brownie, or a signature one-of-a-kind custom cake that will be the star of any event, Sugar Boogers has you covered. Easy online ordering with polite, knowledgeable staff guaranteed to make each experience easy and stress-free. Go check them out on Facebook or give them a call for a free estimate. Sugar Boogers Custom Cakes for all occasions, 606-344-6595.
Are you a jerky jerk?
You're holding it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Just give me 1 second.
RJ's Beef Jerky. Real jerky for real jerky jerks.
Can you give me a piece?
Yeah, of course.
Looking for the perfect place to host your next big celebration? Right in the heart of downtown Corbin, Kentucky, there's a beautiful venue that's quickly becoming everyone's favorite place to gather. Harvey's on Main. From weddings and receptions to birthday parties, baby showers, reunions, corporate events, and community celebrations, Harvey's on Main can host just about any event you can imagine. Planning a wedding? Brides will love the private bridal room, giving you the perfect space to relax, get ready, and enjoy those unforgettable moments before walking down the aisle. Need space for food, drinks, or catering? Harvey's also features a kitchen and bar area available for use, making it easy to create the perfect setup for your guests. And what truly makes this place special is the people. The owner is often right there with you, helping set everything up, making sure your event runs smoothly, and even staying afterward to help clean up. That's the kind of humble, down-to-earth hospitality you just don't see everywhere. So when you're ready to celebrate life's biggest moments in a beautiful downtown setting, choose the place where memories are made. Harvey's on Main, in the heart of downtown Corbin, where your next great event begins.
Kick off your boots, come gather round. Cupid is gonna tell you why. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Footsteps in the woods, lights in the sky. Some call it crazy, we just ask why. Laugh if you wanna, but you just might see there's more to the world than they want it to be. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Truth or a tale, come and see. We're gonna have some fun, y'all.
In a world where feelings are protected and men have traded big, beautiful beards for man purses and man buns, comes to you a podcast you always wanted and never knew you needed. A podcast where feelings are left at the door and conversations happen unfiltered and no sugarcoating. Guys, thank you for hanging out with us. We are back. We've got Mayor Randall Weddle. He won this vote.
I didn't even see the numbers. Where did you didn't get seen no numbers?
I didn't get I'm just listening to Ronnie. I got to trust Ronnie, the producer.
Hear Ronnie say it.
I was watching.
Yeah.
I seen them all cut down.
All right, so
You even mentioned right before the break.
I
You
seen
saw a
number
bunch
two.
of
Who
fours.
was number 2?
Jericho.
I'm number 2.
I think you won. I want to recount.
So we're going to let the mayor spin the wheel, and then we get through that. We're going to get to the question part of the show.
Yeah, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Get TikTok dance.
That was a crappy spin.
Where's something else? Give me a spin again.
No, what's say?
Somebody else.
He knows what it says.
No, it says where's someone else's socks or gloves for the rest of the show.
No, you get
No, I need your gloves.
No, you can take a jelly bean if you want. We got really hot ones
Give me
or
a jelly
nasty
bean.
one.
You want hot or nasty?
Give me a nasty one.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, not
I'm just glad I didn't get the singing one because
Yeah. I've heard that you were a singer.
No, I can't.
Bo told us that you've done some singing.
You got to pick it up and pop it down, and however many
I
it
just
pops out is how many.
But be
you get.
careful,
Are you
because
kidding?
because be careful, it'll shoot all over the floor too.
So pick it up.
2.
There you go.
All right, so
They could be bad tasting.
he does have water, so we're good there.
Yeah, like water is going to get a taste out of your mouth.
It helps you swallow. I don't know why people
You just can't
understand
swallow 'em
that.
whole.
You
I wouldn't
can't. No,
do
but
them at
there's
the
not a
same
rule
time.
that you can't.
Just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
I know the Heimlich.
Really bad or something?
Some are.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, some of them are.
At least you know. It's okay.
I wouldn't wear anybody's socks either.
No, I ain't wearing anybody's socks.
I don't know who came up with that. But
My wife
that
did.
was your wife.
That wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
Okay.
You got lucky.
I
got
can tell
lucky
you that
with the
one's
one.
probably going to be.
No. Well, let me put this one to the side.
He's
Wash that
shaking them.
flavor out.
He's shaking them. Did you get 2 good ones?
Yeah, it's just coffee. It was,
Dude.
I think.
Yep. Cappuccino.
Ooh, I got a cappuccino.
Oh, you got
The
good.
second was cappuccino.
Man, that
Jesus was on
that
my
is
side.
amazing.
Lucky dog.
Amazing. That never happens.
No.
Never happens. All right. So let's get to the first question. And let's tell us what you can about the indictment.
You know, we really can't get nothing into the indictment. You know, I think my lawyer has made a statement regarding that, and we're just going to let that play out in court. So,
And if they want to see what your lawyer said, WKYT has it posted.
yeah,
And they can go look
yeah.
at it.
Guthrie True had made that comment.
Okay. So, guys, I knew that we would have this obstacle, especially with something as fresh as this.
You
if
go
you'd like
to court April 15th for it, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yep. 9 a.m.
So if you guys want to know more about the indictment, his attorney's made a statement. You're welcome to read that. That's as far as he's able to talk about on that. So another question that keeps popping up is, where do you live, Mayor Weddle?
Well, I live exactly where I said. I've got a house in London, Kentucky, and here's one of these questions that me and Victoria have really fought for or through.
I think there's 100 questions of people want to know where you live.
Yeah, probably the same people repetitively wanting to know. They should know as much as they say they know where I sleep and where my family lays their head, which I find
Snappy tomatoes.
Snappy tomatoes.
I'll answer.
Yeah. People won't know where I got my feet.
It's concerning to me that people are wanting to know so badly where me and my family lay our heads down. I'll say that. And I think for the safety of my family, where we may or may not lay our heads is not something I'm going to discuss, especially everything that we've been through.
Right.
But you own multiple properties, right?
We do. And our primary residence is in the city limits of London.
I think that's what they wanted to hear. Where your primary residence?
It's in the city limits of London.
It's in the city limits of London.
That's the one that's on your driver's license.
Yeah, you want to see?
No, I don't want to see, but
that just for the Rudy Tooties.
Yeah, you can throw it up to the camera there.
No, that's his address. Let's go. His address. Ain't nobody wants.
It does say London. It's right in London.
So there is that question answered. Obviously, you're not going to give everybody your street address. Your primary residence is
they've
in the
already
city of London
100 times. Yeah.
So there's that question. What can you say about the Doug Harless situation? A lot of justice for Doug is being put up here, and obviously, we at the podcast, prayers for that family. Prayers for that family. Doug Harless and his family.
And we've said it from the beginning that we pray for the family of Mr. Harless, and I've been very firm on this. We were waiting for the investigation portion to get done by the Kentucky State Police. It went before the grand jury, and now we're waiting for a copy. Now, I want to preface this: we were never getting the file, the original file, but I want to say copy because that's important. But it got misconstrued at one point that we were saying we were getting the file. The Kentucky State Police is not handing over the original file to anybody, but we were waiting for a copy of the entire case file, which I've been told was over 900 and something pages. So we're waiting for that, and we want to go through that. And I think there's a lot of people. Last I heard, there was like 200 and something open records requests to KSP on that file. And our stances remain the same. As January of the meeting at City Council, that I said that if any wrongdoers found, we will hold those people accountable. And if there are any changes in the PD, I need to see what's in that file. Again, as a mayor, and I think any mayor in this state will say, we don't really, you hire a chief of police, and that police officer is experienced and trained to deal with that. It's not something as me. I don't know nothing about the PD as far as their operations and their daily activities. That's not my forte. That's not what I do. That's why you hire a chief. But obviously, we want to go through the file. And I said this at a council meeting here not long ago too, that I think in the benefit of the city, neither me or council don't need to be investigating this. We need to bring in third-party people that's away from here and let them go through this. I said this several months back in a council meeting, and council said that they would consider it. But I don't think that we need to be handling this for complete transparency reasons. My suggestion is that we create a board. Council will put one person on there. I will put one person on there, and then they will appoint people to that board. And that way, this board is not controlled by the government. It's controlled by the people. And those individuals then will come back and let us know what is and what ain't. And if I never see the file, that's fine. I'll trust what this board says to me and the council. I don't think that you can get any more transparency than that right there when it comes to that subject. But we're still.
So you're saying that you'd be okay if you never seen it at all, if somebody else handled this, a third party, where the city was left out of it pretty much totally, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that for the sake of the family and everybody involved in this case, that if my office never touched it, but there was a board made up, everybody understands the tension towards me from council. If we both appoint somebody, then let those individuals point people outside of the community, in the community, or whatever, and let these individuals then decide if there was wrongdoing on the police's in the police department or not. Or I think that's the best approach versus me at the end of this saying I don't feel like nothing's, especially all the controversy around this. I think that it would be a better way of dealing with this.
So how much influence over the police department does the mayor have?
And that's the thing people, as far as the daily operations, of course, everybody answers to you as the mayor, but it's like anything else, like the fire department, for instance. I'm not a trained firefighter, so I have to rely on what the fire chief is telling me or his command staff. So do I have the ability to fire them or to hire them? Yes, I do have that ability, but we still have to work in the constraints of the policy set by council and the ordinances set there. I have to execute what that says in the interim of all that too.
Like, I think that's a big takeaway, because it's had to be brought up 2 or 3 times. Just to kind of reiterate that your job is to fulfill what they tell you to do. Is that the way?
No, it's not. They can't bark an order, but if it's something passes with a quorum, if it takes, in our council it takes 4 people, if they pass a municipal order or an ordinance, then I have to execute that ordinance.
That's what I was saying, right?
Yeah. So in that case, yes, I have to. The voices of the council is spoken through ordinance or municipal order.
So the chief of police is an elected position, right?
No, the chief is appointed by me and council. So I appoint, they confirm. So it takes both branches to make that happen.
Well, what about them going out of their jurisdiction? What was done about that?
So, and this, I'm glad that you brought this up. So the city police in London historically has always worked in the county. They wasn't out of jurisdiction, and I know that's been one of the biggest controversial pieces of this. So this is the best way, and I know I'm going to get some backlash on this, but let's say you come in with your wife to Walmart in London.
Okay.
And a crime is committed. Let's say a guy snatches your purse and beats you up and then jumps into a vehicle and then runs out. Let's go down into Lilly. Are you then suggesting that the police, and I'm not speaking specific to this case of Doug Harless, but I'm going to talk about just in general.
A
broader stroke of things. You're saying that they're to stop at the city line and say, well, then now we have to call the sheriff's department or the state police?
Well, my opinion, I'm going to try to get that out there. My opinion on that right there, that is an active case. So that is no different than, let's say, Corbin starting a high-speed chase right here on Main Street and running it all the way into Lilly.
Okay.
That police officer is going to stay on that person until someone can take over.
But now this is serving a warrant, right?
So the Doug Harless, in my opinion, would be a little bit different. It wasn't an active thing. They had a warrant, and they was serving late at night. They could have called the sheriff and said, "Hey, we're going to pass this over to you." Or do a joint thing. Say, we need you to join us and come out here. But how you're approaching that, in my opinion, is it was an active flee, and they could not stop.
No, I'm not saying that it was an active flee.
Like you said.
No, what I said is,
I'm not speaking about the Doug Harless situation.
What I'm saying is there's just
trying to.
He said that very plainly.
There's just instances where, again, if you look at the statute,
a crime happened.
The statute allows city police to have jurisdiction in the county. Just period. I brought this up in a council meeting for primary example. if you go back, and I'm not saying now, the last probably year since I've mentioned this, we've not gotten a lot of this, but if you go back into 23 and 24 and, some of 25, we were constantly giving assist calls out into the county. Well, if they didn't have jurisdiction to be in the county, then why we were out there doing assist calls? Jurisdiction isn't based upon just if the sheriff says you can come. So that's not how the law is written. And if you look at the KRS, it's very plain. And I think if people want that change, then they need to talk to the legislators of the state, because right now the law is written that the city of any county, that those officers have the right to be in the full county, in that county. Now, if they'd went into Knox County or Whitley County, it'd have been a different story. But in this case, they were within their full rights to be where they were. And if it's whether they're in a high-speed chase or not in one, the investigation leads them to that area. They have the right to be there. And that's just, I'm talking statute. I'm not talking about my opinion in any case.
Right. So is there any, I'm sure there's lessons learned out of it, right? So for you, what maybe,
or was there? We don't know that yet.
Well,
and this is where everybody wants to, need to understand. This was an active investigation, KSP. So a lot of these officers I've not even spoke to about this case. I've stayed away from this case as much as possible. We did activate an administrative investigation into this, but then immediately when it started going, this went down, it got so controversial that I backed away from it entirely. And so, but while KSP was doing an investigation, we've not been able to do anything because there's been an active investigation by, a high law enforcement agency in this state. So we couldn't be going around asking questions and putting things together at that point. So, again, we've had to wait for the conclusion. And now that we have that, now I have to wait for a copy. And I think even if I have a copy, that the investigation on our side, the administrative investigation, to answer your question, is everybody receives justice in this, the family, the officers involved, and everybody, that again, we look at the facts in this case. And I've said this in the councilman, and I've told you this a few minutes ago, that we need to let somebody else do this and come back. Citizens, people that's not biased in any way, say, hey, this is the facts in this, mayor and council, and this is what we think should happen.
Appoint me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be good on that council.
So we've got through some rapid fire questions real quick. That's a lot of things that people are asking.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I keep on going back to this, but your time as the mayor's not been easy.
No.
Well, I mean, I can think of 3 or 4 events that have been on national news.
Yeah.
Since you've been mayor of London.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had. What are some of the tornado for sure?
Well, the tornado, of course, the Harless, and then we had the interstate shooting as well with Joseph Couch. Several. We've had flooding, ice storms. We've just had so many things happen in 3.5 years, and that's kind of what has spawned so much what's going on here. London, especially with Joseph Couch, as soon as that happened, that really that
started the conspiracy machine.
And I didn't even know about that conspiracy until you guys kind of mentioned it here. I wasn't even aware of it, but it put London on the map for as news. I mean, because when they report, they say London, and that was in the county actually where it occurred. Right. But they say London, and it just really put us on the map. And then it was just one thing after another. Even at that point, it was just a place for them to come and get news. And right now, I think anything could happen in London, and they're going to report on it.
Yeah, it's actually right at the Livingston exit.
That is correct. Yeah.
So I mean during the tornado, I don't know anybody that wouldn't say you gave everything you had during the tornado, and that's not me just saying stuff to make people happy. I mean, I've seen pictures of you out there in the middle of the night, all night, giving away stuff, being a part of this, setting up command centers, doing all this other stuff. I mean, how many people lost their lives during that tornado?
A lot.
You know, man, this goes back to, when we were talking earlier. Me and Victoria are not doing this. What have we gained? I've took more heat and hell than I think any local politician in East Kentucky, and I don't even know, maybe it's even statewide, than anybody. I mean, there's more conspiracy theories, more rumors than I don't know if it's just social media or what it is, but it just seems like we've took so much of a beating here. For what? I keep saying that. What have I gained? I've lost more being the mayor of London than I've ever gained. I've been impeached. It's costed me thousands and thousands of dollars. I could have stayed quietly in the background somewhere, and and now, of course, I've got more to face. So it's just to continue to fight. What have we gained? On my personal side and my real estate side of this, I've not purchased one property. I've not sold one property. I said, well, we wouldn't do those things while I was mayor so things couldn't get said. So when it went to the tornado, going to that, it's because we love this place. And I'm going to tell you something. That night broke me. I didn't sleep for 5 days. I could not go to sleep. Seeing the devastation to a community that you love, it's hard. It's hard to watch people suffer, and and to go through what the people went through that night, and you really do not understand how powerful a tornado is until you get to see it up close and in person like that, and the devastation and what it did to our people. And that's why I did what I did, and mine was so small. There's so many other people that was there that were getting nails through their foot as they were pulling bodies. I mean, I may have stood in the rain and directed traffic or tried to help people. Again, I'm a mayor. I don't have a lot of medical training. I don't have the knowledge of these people. There's so many people that shined that night. But just seeing that devastation, it really broke me. And it really, I think, even brought me a little closer to God, because man, it was just something that I don't think I'll ever forget.
Well, I remember driving by it and just seeing everything just kind of tore down. Mm-hmm. Like it was a mess, like something you'd see in a movie.
Yeah, I drove up the next day because my office was demolished.
Oh, it was across the interstate and everything.
Yeah, because Maximus Federal's where I worked.
Yeah.
And it was totally ripped in half. And we were dropping off jerky that next morning there at the school. And it broke my heart because I was there every day,
But, I mean, the people of London really pulled together then, too. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in London Laurel County, and that's something amazing about this area in general. I think we can all have our differences, whether it's red or it's blue, or if it's just the Hatfield and McCoy kind of battles in life. But you will notice when devastation ever hits this area anywhere, and I don't care where it's at, whether it's out in Whitesburg, the people come together and they put their differences aside. I wish it would have remained that way, that we could have continued just as one community, because people still trying to build from that. There's still PTSD, storms come, even for my family, storm comes rolling through there, and it's, you don't forget that night, because how many of us hears that phone go off and we just go on to sleep?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
We did it.
Yeah.
People do it.
My wife don't. That last storm we had, she woke everybody in the house up and had them go get in the hallway like we was back in elementary school or something.
Yeah.
I said, I ain't doing that. Leave me alone. I'm going back to bed.
Yeah.
I said, I ain't getting in no hallway, tucking my head in nothing.
I think if you would have seen that night, you could have probably have a different perception.
PTSD.
Yeah. We didn't ever run to the basement or didn't ever run to a safe room or anything like that ourselves. And whether we lived in Indiana or wherever, we just disregarded. But we said this last storm that come through here, we just wasn't doing that. We hunkered down because just the devastation alone. I mean, it was something I'll never forget.
You can still see a lot of it if you take the old road from Kiwi over to London. You'll still see a lot of that trail.
See, I drove through it at night. I was coming back from a graduation party in Danville. And it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and they had shut the interstate off at Mount Vernon. So I had to go from Danville through Somerset and then out exit 41 in London. And I got through that way. But there were hunks of trees. I mean, trees and roots all over the interstate. I couldn't see the devastation to was it the Sublimity area that I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. That southern portion, yeah. Going out by the airport.
Yeah. I couldn't see it, but I could see all the debris on the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, man, what happened? What has happened to this place?
Yeah.
We knew that the tornadoes and stuff were going on, but I didn't realize it was as big as it was until I seen that. First time in my life I've ever seen.
B-Rock. Have you been down there and looked at that?
Mm-hmm.
B-Rock, where that tornado come through, and I mean, the Daniel Boone National Forest just wiped out right there.
Yeah, it's all the way to Somerset. It goes all the way to Somerset.
Bad.
So, but yeah, London's had some major events that's taken place that I think that again,
you're fighting while they're trying to fight against you.
Yeah. And then you're dealing with trying to to be the mayor and keep your promise to the people, and then dealing with the politics of everything as well. So, but we're not going to let the noise of anything deflect from what the people elected me to do. So,
and that I think that's important to mention too. You're an elected official.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and every time that we speak to anybody, and we've had all angles of this. We've had Jenny Baker on the show. We've had Crime with Bobby on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We now have you on the show. I mean, just to kind of get everybody's opinion collectively, not to bash anybody. I would say everyone that came on the show was a pleasure for us to have, and we try to be very respectful to them. But I mean, now's your time, London. I mean, May 19th.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want? What do you want? Do you want more of the same? Do you want change? Or and when I say more of the same, I mean like the 16-year politicians like that you had talked about earlier.
That's the going to that is, how is the new kid on the block that has had a microscope on him from day one? I mean, talking about from the time I ran, the corrupt one. And it goes back to that question: who am I corrupt with?
Yeah. Did you ask about the hospital? I don't remember.
I haven't.
What is that? What's everyone talking about?
Before it goes that real quick, I when I first met these guys, I told them I was thinking about running for mayor of Corbin one day.
Yeah.
And I said, but if I did, I'd probably end up dead though.
Well, I'd hope not, but
yeah,
we're all going to die one day, so
yeah,
it's okay.
The reality of it is when you start putting yourself into,
trying to do things right when it's been such a mess for a while.
Well, if they don't kill you, they'll do what they're doing to me. You know what I mean?
They'll try to kill your.
And and let me say this: I don't think anybody on the state level is a part of this systemic issue here. I think connections of people. You'll have that in play, but you're going to have it, and it goes back to the long-standing statement of this is why good people don't run for office, because it just doesn't make sense. Whatever narrative, negative, bad you try to spin to me, I'm not perfect. I don't walk on water. If I made mistakes, well, yeah, of course. We've had 1,000 things come at us, and you're not always going to be in the right temperament or the right thing. You may not say the right thing at the right time, but to go say this dude is corrupt, this dude is power hungry, where? Common sense folk, where? or somebody say, well, he's gaslighting when he says this. Okay, give me the facts. Where's all the power? Where is all the glory in this? Because I've not had any glory. I've had nothing but to fight through hell since I've been there. So who is my connection and who is winning for me being mayor when the whole entire system is rigged against me? So good people don't run for office for a reason.
That's right. Well, to keep people from saying gaslighting again, what's going on with the hospital?
Yeah. I don't know how far I want to go into this, but
I don't even know where it starts. So
yeah,
about a donation with the hospital.
We did, and I've seen that other side make their comments. But I want to say this: me and Victoria, her mother Tracy, had breast cancer and died not too long after I took office. She had passed away in February of 23. We donated money in her name. There was a part of that I don't even know if I want to justify this to people, to be quite honest with you. Corbin Hospital, and I want to be careful. We had made a donation to them for my mother-in-law and in her name.
Corbin Hospital.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're talking about.
Okay. Well,
the cancer center there.
Because you're the London mayor, but this is.
But she was
Corbin.
being treated in Corbin.
Yeah, Tracy lived in Corbin.
Okay,
I
just wanted
she
to
had
try
received
to really
treatment.
show that difference there.
Yeah, she had received treatments in Corbin. There was something that wasn't out in the public though, and it got public, and it was a little disturbing to us. We didn't know that Tracy had breast cancer until it was metastatic. But and again, I want to be very careful in this. She didn't. Again, it wasn't public. Me and Victoria knew this, and some of the people in the family knew this. Originally, when she went to the hospital, and I'm not going to name them the hospital in this, she was told that it was just a cyst. That's all it was. So they said just keep getting it checked every year. Well, time had passed by, and it kept just being a cyst. And when we actually found out that it was breast cancer
that they'd let on.
Yeah, that it was metastatic. Now, nobody really knew that. Again, it wasn't disclosed in the public. Not long after the announcement came out that we had made this donation to the hospital, it got word. One of the council members' wife was heavily involved there as well. I think received treatments, and this person had walked up to me and said, "How stupid do you have to be to donate money to a hospital that killed you, your mother-in-law?" And I don't take a lot of things to heart when people say things, right?
Right.
But nobody knew about the misdiagnosis, and that wasn't public. And we didn't talk about it outside of my family. We didn't even really speak about it. But I vowed it, and there was several other things that was said, and then things that got back to me that I found very, very concerning. And so there's where we're at with that.
Well, I appreciate you, Labro. And it's one of those, and I don't know that we knew what we were asking when we asked that question.
Yeah.
To be fair to you,
that's fine.
I hate that.
I've heard the chatter about this. There is a side that wants to try to use this as like me and Victoria or some horrible people. But again, that's something personal, and it's like if you choose to donate to something and then you don't donate it to it, or you pull your funding, that's up to you.
That is up to me.
That's up to you and your family. But we decided for a damn good reason in our hearts, because I feel like that my personal health information should not be out in the public.
So you pulled the donation, didn't donate?
We did not donate.
Okay.
Well, I'm again.
So
I don't know that we knew what we were asking when we asked that. It's just something that kept
pull up. And I
told you to ask
hate
me anything you want to ask me.
Well, you did say that, and I appreciate you answering it the way you did, because it's one of those things where none of that has anything to do with you being mayor.
Right. No, that's all.
Yeah, that's all very personal stuff.
Yeah,
But that's where they go with this. You know, they've had people will say because of Doug Harless that now people's against me. This same group, go back when I was running for office and look throughout social media. This is the same people, group or side, whatever you want to label this as. This is they've had this personal attack, rumors, cartel. This is a bad guy. You know, he's just wanting to run the county, run the city. I mean, he's wanting to just take over everything, and none of it makes sense to an educated or logic person. But they have to use personal things. And it's just like, because they don't have anything else, right? They can't say, especially earlier on. But again, it goes back to the very root of every bit of this. People have to use conspiracies, or they have to try to muddy you up in any way that they possibly can. And you know, the sad part about it is
it's not even London's money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like you're taking the taxpayers' money doing this. You're doing it for free.
Not even getting paid.
not even getting paid.
Yeah.
So what's the matter what you do with your money?
Yeah. So I think it's sad that, you know, we've heard some chatter about this, and I've actually told some people that I wouldn't even want to respond to it because, again, it's just best to leave that alone. You know, my wife lost her mother, and I lost a woman that was like a mother to me to metastatic breast cancer. And what the reason we decided not to do something really is not any of those people's business that I have even seen some of the comments from them, you know, that they're mentioning about. And I think it really says what kind of a horrible human they are to keep trying to drive that narrative without knowing the facts and knowing that they've even assisted in some cases on been playing a part of that in itself. So
that's again, I didn't know where they were going with that, and obviously that's not a question that
no, yeah, that has nothing to do with you being mayor or anything.
Yeah, no.
We want to be fair to the people asking, but it's asking questions. But some of this stuff just kind of feels like you said, it's just mud. That just kind of feels like mud.
Yeah, that's more of a personal attack. That's
all they do.
Yeah,
that's all they do. I mean, we could me and Victoria could lay gold bars out on the road and help every family in this region, and we would still be evil people. We could help 500-600 kids at Christmas time, and there's a motive to why we do that, rather than for 7 or 8 years nobody in this county knew that we were doing it, and we don't do it for blue. But there's so many things that people don't know about us because we do not do these. But the reality of being in politics and the mayor, there are some things to combat the lies and the rumors you have to make public. It's not because we're really wanting you to pat you on the back, because there's so many things we do that we don't talk about, because actually Victoria gets very frustrated even on the things that people do know about, because we're just not that. You didn't know who I was before I started running for mayor, but yet we were still down here helping your families. It's because we love you. It's not because we want you to tell me that I'm a great person. If people that know me know I don't. If you even try to give me a birthday card, I'm not that guy. I'd rather give something than receive something. I'm not the guy that needs you to tell me I'm doing a good job. I'm doing it because I love this place. Everything that we do is based on that. And I know it's hard for the tinfoil hat wearing people to really grasp that. But there is good people on this earth that just want to do good things.
There is.
See, I know, and you know, kind of bringing it back to the beginning, Jericho, Ronnie, and I, we've done an Operation Save Christmas.
See?
Where we helped close to 500 kids. And it
was
wasn't
there a
because
conspiracy behind that? Is there a reason?
because we grew up in humble beginnings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
we know what it's like not having
newspaper and everything.
We know what it's
you
like.
You didn't
not
forget it, did you?
No,
and neither did we.
Yeah.
We did it because we knew what it was like not being able to get a bunch of Christmas presents.
I remember
14 hours in a Grinch suit, you 14 hours in a Santa Claus suit, me running all over that parking lot with
over
kids.
$5,000 worth of donations.
Yeah.
Over $5,000 worth of donations, and
We
it wasn't for no publicity.
Not for us.
And
at
for the
all.
past 2 years, we've done a Thanksgiving where we.
But it was because we came from humble beginnings, and I would dare to say that maybe that's the reason why you guys do that stuff. I'm not putting words in your mouth, but you did say that times were tough when you were a kid too.
Absolutely. When my dad died, we didn't have a ton of money. Coming up with 2014, I'm in Victoria, wasn't rich by no means. There's been other people in our family dying way before then. I remember, look at all the families we've tried to help here with funerals. A lot of people don't know that, but we do it. And it's not just in Laurel County, it's Knox County, it's Whitley County. And I go back to the reason we do it is I remember the days of watching my family stress out, whether it was my father or anybody else's in our family. It's like we don't have the money to bury them. And it goes back to that kid even for Christmas. Why did we do what we did? Well, if people actually got out of their box and went out into our counties, whether it be Laurel, Whitley, or Knox, and seen the families here that struggle and how some of these kids are having to live, and acknowledge that we have hundreds of seniors doing without food, we have hundreds of kids doing without food, then maybe they would realize that we need people in this community like you guys that are going to step up and do the right thing. Don't discourage it. Don't attack them for loving somebody. And there don't have to be a motive in why you guys did it, and there's not a motive behind what we do. It could be just simply because you remember where you come from and you love people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you 100% that was our incentive. 100%.
I love people. I'm definitely.
We're going to do it again and again and again and bigger every time.
We talked about it, just leaving there. And this is maybe selfish for me to say, but how good I felt being able to do that was so addictive that when we get back in the room, I'm like, how can we do it bigger?
Yeah.
What does next year look like, guys?
Yeah.
We did so good. What can we do more? What more can we do?
Yeah.
It really is a great feeling.
Yeah. And I've heard
you see those babies' faces.
Yeah.
They make you want to do it every year.
Oh yeah, they looked at me like, Santa. I'm like, where have you been? I've been waiting for you. Come here. We just set them on the lap. They give the presents and everything else, and it was amazing. And I hear about there. I was telling someone today, I was fixing the DJ wedding. I was like, I got to get out of here. I got a big podcast with Mayor Weddle tonight. He said, Randall? And I said, yeah. And he goes, I know him from we working in Corbin. He goes, you'll never meet a better guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ronnie Smith was telling me, too, to tell him he's a good guy.
Yeah. The people that know me know that, we love people. And we try to help anybody that we possibly can. And I don't care if I'm the mayor or not the mayor. You try not to get lost in all this hate, that you don't lose that part of yourself, right? That you love the people here, and you try to work through all these people that's blasting you and saying all these negative things, even though some of these people, they've been to your Christmas party every year, with their kids, or you've helped them in other ways, and yet they're still get on social media and say these things. And I've learned a long time ago that regardless of what people are saying, you don't lose who you are. And I've even told my older kids is don't get lost in this mess. We know who we are and we know why we do it, and let's just continue to be that family.
And I've got one question, and pertains to most people know that your children don't go to Laurel County schools.
Well, two of my children are 25 and 24 now, and so they're not going to. I've got grandbabiys by them now. Right. So Lucas does not attend the Laurel County School. I don't think that's any secret. I think it came out pretty early on. We did sign him up. There was a teacher made a comment to him in a Laurel County School about our race, and we thought it was best to put him in a neutral place, so he's not being drug into politics.
Good.
Oh,
real quick, what's that NCIC everybody's talking about?
That's something that we need to say for John Root when he gets on the show.
Yeah.
Well,
everyone's
no,
asking
it came
him.
from the city.
Why did London
police lost access to that?
Yeah.
That's something.
Is there anything about that you can say?
I honestly don't know a lot about it. So the council had more dealings with that and opened up an investigation into that. I really don't have a lot of information about it to talk about it. So
Well, there you go, folks. He don't know much about it.
So you're a Corbin alumni too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, we weren't going to start, stuff between Corbin and London.
Well, I don't think it's starting anything. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's public record.
So it's public knowledge. I graduated from Corbin. Yeah.
So my son, he goes to Oak Grove, Whitley County, and we're going to move him to Corbin when he gets out of elementary school. It's a preference. It's not that big of a deal. I like the way they do school at Corbin.
Well, the question is, though, is being mayor of London, right?
Well, he doesn't have no
Do
power
you
over the
have
school
any
system.
control over the school systems? I mean,
No, we have no.
because I saw you do a post once explaining something on that, right?
Yeah, we have no control over the schools and what they do. Sometimes you talk to the superintendent about concerns that you're getting from the public, like bullying. I've been from day one trying to fight against the bullying in our school systems
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll talk to them about things like that, concerns that come out of the community. But they don't have to listen to anything I have to say.
But they're ran by the same kind of system, right? They have a superintendent and a school board.
That is correct. Yeah.
So it's kind of the same kind of setup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, except the superintendent is hired by the board, and the school board is elected.
right. But the superintendent's supposed to be an executive part of it.
Yeah, they execute what the board wants.
Yeah.
So, about schools. Recently, a little boy made headlines at North Laurel about being bullied. A lot of people came to the event. You had tried to put in some legislation or some ordinance months prior to this being an issue.
Yeah.
Is that right? Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we had been trying to get an ordinance passed that would cause it to be a Class A misdemeanor in the city limits of London to anybody under the age of 19 to be charged with bullying, and to hold people a little bit more accountable, especially after we've lost, so many kids to what it believed to be was bullying. I think the total got up over the last several years it was 6 or 7 children. And in not all those cases were necessarily bullying, but there was several that was, and that was concerning to me. And I think that all these government agencies need to be taking a proactive approach because it needs to stop. When we went to school, when we left, it was over. If you were bullied, and
you would hate going back the next day, but you would have to deal with it all day long.
Yeah, and our kids today, they don't get away from it. But I'm going to tell you something too, and I think we all can agree to this. People are vicious today.
Yes, they are.
And it's just not our kids. I could look at some of these comments while we're sitting here, and some people are just vicious.
They are vicious.
And then they wonder why the kids are vicious as well. What are we teaching them, that this is okay? And it's hard to see stuff like this play out in our younger generation, but they're so mean sometimes, and we need to take the steps to give a message that we're not going to tolerate this. Because that's one of the biggest things I hear as mayor, and then I can't do nothing in the school systems because it's not in my authority, but you hear it so much that my son is being bullied, not by just kids. You hear it that our even teachers bullying kids in some cases.
Is that? If people can't agree that kids don't need to be bullied, I mean, it's sitting at a council meeting, adults. It just seems like such a easy thing to vote for. Hey, listen, we don't want kids being bullied. I don't know how, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't know how that wouldn't pass. I don't know anybody that'd be like, yeah, I like kids being bullied. I don't know anybody that would say that. But you couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and I cannot tell you the exact reason why we couldn't get that done. I think it blew a lot of people's mind. It didn't pass, but I think it goes back to maybe not understanding what the ordinance was saying. Maybe they thought that they could get charged out of it. I don't know. That's what I was left to assume.
Well, there is a lot of stuff that does fall back on the parents. And some of that stuff, me personally, I don't think's right. I shouldn't get in trouble for something my kid's done that I had no knowledge about.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't send them to school and say, "Hey, be sure to do this today."
Just kind of off topic. How does London heal from this? Because it really feels like you're one side or another side. And if you say publicly you're one side, then you are bullied. You're getting all the hate. It doesn't
matter what side.
It doesn't matter what side. If you publicly say I support city council, you'll get bullied. If you publicly say I support Randall Weddle, you'll get bullied. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you people are going to talk crap about us tonight because we weren't mean to you, but we've not been mean to anybody that come on our show. That's not us. We asked some tough questions. You've answered them. But how does London heal? Because it really feels so divisive right now.
I think that, again, on this side, and I'll tell any of my supporters out there now, we do not advocate, and I've said this before, I do not want people mistreating anybody in any way. I don't care who they support. That's the great thing about being an American. You support who you want to support, and you vote for whoever you want to vote for, right? And then we shouldn't be acting adolescent about that or acting like a child. So I think we need to bring that back, and I agree. It needs to happen on both sides to an extent, but you've got to have both branches in the same mindset to make this happen.
Right.
You cannot have one side, my side, saying, "Hey, let's take the tone down. Let's just answer the questions, and let's just work and get the job done." And at no point have I ever said that this job is unbearable or tough. I've worked through every bit of it in itself. But
on a private message, you said, God gave me a back for this.
Yeah.
You didn't complain.
God made me for it. There's one no doubt. And I've never complained about this job, even with everything that is coming towards me. But it takes both sides. It's in an argument. If one side won't let the argument go, there's not much you can do about it. Mm-hmm. And just when you think quiet's happening, and that's one thing about, and I hate to even say it, but the other side is the moment that there is a peace, they have to create more drama, and then it fires up both sides. Mm-hmm. So it's going to take both sides not creating drama, and it's not even anybody that out there, us elected officials. If we rein this in and just do our jobs, the drama's going to stop.
It would.
So you got to have a council that don't have a motive. Period. If every time the peace starts happening and then next thing you know they're doing another resolution that doesn't really have no teeth, they just had some training, but you can't go into a peaceful situation. Next thing they're poking and trying to start another fight. So it's going to take getting elected officials in that just want the best of London. And if this side, and it gets lost in this noise, we've been saying let's just work. I don't care. I forgive what yous have done, and you've done a lot to me. I forgive it. Let's just move on.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of questions, and we're coming up on our 2 hours. But I want to thank you for coming on. I definitely want to try to get you back on again after everything settles with the court and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then we can get you scheduled for that. But there is our show, our 3 questions that we normally ask.
Right. 3 non-political questions.
Okay.
The roots of the show.
Right.
Do you believe in aliens?
I think out of our federal government here recently, they're admitting to that.
I've said the same. Yes. Dave Grush or whatever was the big thing on that. Okay. Do you believe in the paranormal? Ghosts.
Ghosts. Oh, sure.
Yeah. Do you have a quick story?
I don't think I got a story in particular, but I do believe in it.
Okay. Now, Bigfoot.
I don't know. I think that
I don't know.
I think that if you watch some of the documentaries on it, they say that it is true. I always wondered, and because I do go down those rabbit holes and I'll watch them. Why don't they get clear video of these things, especially in today's time? Why, if you are showing me there's a Bigfoot there, that it still looks like a 1990s grainy camera?
Well, boys, hold on now. Have you been seeing all the stuff coming out of Ohio here lately?
No.
There's been a lot of.
I've sent you stuff
Bigfoot
from Ohio,
sightings.
and you said it's fake.
That's probably. I just shut it down. I'm like, nah, ain't no Bigfoot.
Why are you sending it to him? You know he's just going to shut it down.
Ain't no Bigfoot. I ain't got time to waste on that.
Yeah, I question, but the other 2 I do, but 100%. Obviously there's something going on, and I do commend our federal government for finally saying, admitting that there's some stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Now, they didn't say it was like E.T. extraterrestrial.
No, I think here recently, I just watched a few senators that were saying that if the public had, seen everything they have seen, that it would probably send shockwaves throughout our country.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would love to
Matt
see that
Bates, he was doing a show and was talking about it with another one of the senators. He was from out west, I believe. But, yeah, they were talking about it, and that's really what caught my attention. They were saying that there's a lot of stuff there.
See, I've been saying it for a year now. All right, so you guys ready to tie this up?
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for watching our 1-year anniversary show. Thank you, Mayor Randall Weddle, for being on here. Thank you for taking some of these questions. They're tough questions. Thank you for taking them. I think there was only one time you're like, listen, I can't talk about that at all, and that was just the very impending.
Well, that's because you got court coming. So,
Now, just so everybody knows, Monday we do have Robbie Grimes supposed to be on here.
Robbie Grimes is going to be on the show Monday.
And then
Backwoods and Bullshit on Friday.
And then John Root is the following Monday.
John Root will be here Monday after next.
Yeah. So, and that's confirmed. And then we'd like to get you back, Mr. Weddle.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great night. Jericho, anything?
Nope, that'll be it.
Mayor Weddle, anything?
Nope.
Thanks for coming on. We love yous. See yous next time.
Like, share, do all that.
Yeah.
Give to our cash app.
No, we don't do that.
All right, well, guys, that wraps up the show tonight. Thank you, Jeannie Baker, for coming on tonight. We have Eugene Smith coming on Friday.
Eugene Smith.
And then James Jones Monday, right?
Yes, James Jones Monday.
So, guys.
And hold on, let me tell you something. Breaking news, even to you. We have undisclosed information that no one knows. We, No Sugarcoating Podcast, are going to be the first to get it out to the public.
Sounds awesome. So, guys, make sure to tune in on Friday's show. If that's it, we'll just call it a night.
Yeah, call it a night.
Have a great night, guys.
See you.
Hey, dude.
And that's real.
Dude, before you get out of here, I got to take the garbage out. You give me a hand, that way we can get out of here real quick?
You dropped your big mic?
All right, my man. Man, that's an awesome show. Listen, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in what Jenny had to say. Dude, she's got pictures of Bigfoot.
I can't wait for that.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, I really cannot wait for the Bigfoot.
Dude, you're the only person that believes in Bigfoot.
And my wife.
Right.
Yeah. I can't wait till she comes back and shows us them videos and stuff.
She said videos, didn't she?
Yeah, she said she had a video.
Dude, ain't nobody gonna believe it.
And then that lady commented and said something about a picture or something.
Her daughter.
Yeah, her daughter.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Whoa.
Whoa. What's that?
No way. No way.
Jenny ain't gonna believe this.
Shh, let's think about it. Dude, there's no way. We're just talking about this. No way.
Lord mercy. What is that?
I think he's pissing.
He's got a tiny pecker.
Shh, 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 shh. Let's go just check it out. Because that's him. He's really pissing. Dude. Why do they call him Bigfoot? Why do they call him Bigfoot? I would be embarrassed. I would be so embarrassed. Getting called Bigfoot with such a little pecker. My God, maybe they call him Little Stump. Get out of here. Get out of here. Call him Little Stump. Jeez, oh Pete. No wonder he stays hid. I wouldn't show my face in no damn body if I pack like that. It's supposed to be Bigfoot. Next episode, guys.